Welcome back to another episode of Voracious Media. I'm your host, Michael Obeid. We have a special guest tonight with us, Mr. Pierre Geagea.
Thank you, Mr. Michael.
Welcome, Pierre. Now, I'll tell you guys a bit of a background as to the reason why we are doing this special interview. I've moved now to out west, and I moved outside of the Bankstown area. I was once a member, unfortunately. And I was driving through, I think it was either Belfield or Punchbowl on the way back from Mass, and I saw your face on one of the campaign pictures, and you were running for government. And I was thinking to myself, wow, Pierre's doing something that I've thought about doing, because I think it's very important for Catholics to be involved in politics and to do something, especially after everything that we've been through. And I said, you know what, I'll give you a call and see whether you're interested in doing something, so that we can at least hear your story and see why you're here. So thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Okay, so what I wanted to ask you, just so that we can get things started, is why did you start, or can you tell us a bit about your story, about what made you want to get started with wanting to run for the elections?
Mate,
I
would love to. I had no interest whatsoever.
Yep.
I'm not a politician. Like, you know, my background, we teach the kids at church rosary. That's what I've dedicated the last 10 years of my life, teaching the kids how to pray the rosary in the parish. During this lockdown, I had a lot of time to think.
Yeah.
And a lot of people on social media, I was watching social media. I don't have social media, I watch YouTube. We have to become more active. And I'm thinking in my prayers, and we pray on it, my wife and the kids every day, for the Holy Spirit to put us in the position that he wants us to be in, so we can work for him, not for our glory, for his glory. And then a mate rang me and he said to me, why didn't you consider running for council? It's never crossed my head. Now, this was on the Monday, 2 days before the shut-off, which was on Wednesday. And that's how it started.
Wow.
And then come Wednesday, so we had Monday, Tuesday, we prayed on it, we went to church, St. Michael's in Belfield, we prayed the rosary, and we said to the Holy Spirit, said to God, if you want it to happen, it will happen.
Wow.
And we filled out the application form, we lodged it in, it got in at 11:53, 7 minutes before shut off.
And from what you were telling me before, if you hadn't made that lodgement, there would have only been Labor and Liberal to vote for within the Canterbury Bankstown electorate. Is that true?
That's right. No independent was running.
Wow. So you are the third option now.
That's right.
That's awesome.
And we got Group A.
Awesome. Now, we're going to get into all that. So can you tell me a bit of a background with regards to yourself? So have you ever had an experience in politics before?
Never.
What's your work background?
I do excavation, civil construction.
Yep.
So I got a little plant hire business and employ a couple of guys, and I've been doing that for 20 years.
Yep.
That's it. Never had anything to do with politics.
And other than that, what made you, like you were telling me about the reasons why you wanted to go into the elections, but like, other than that, what were you thinking? Like, when you were asked, like, did you think, I've got no experience, I've never done anything like this before? Was it a little bit daunting?
It was very scary.
Okay.
It was very scary. But in the last 13 weeks, before we lodged the application in, I have been thinking about, if we want to make change, we have to work on the inside.
Yep.
We have to be in position of power.
Yep.
I'm not saying that we're more powerful than other people, but where your voice counts.
Yep.
And I've really been thinking about doing something. I didn't know where or how.
Yep.
And then this opportunity come up, and I took it with both hands.
Beautiful.
So, and if God wants us to get up, we get up. If he doesn't want us to get up, at least we've tried to make a difference.
Okay. And so I want to reflect on some of the things that you had just said. What was it specifically about lockdown that made you think we need to stand up and do something? Was there anything specific? Was there any injustice that you and your family felt that made you say, you know what, like, I feel like I need to say something or do something, or that the people in Parliament, because I remember before when you were talking to me before the show, you mentioned the fact that there are, when let's say people, for example, and I'm going to mention things like, let's say the vaccine mandates, we can get a lot of people rallying and going and protesting against the vaccine mandates, but at the end of the day, it's the people that we vote for on the inside. They're the ones that make the decisions.
100%.
Can you clarify? Can you further that point?
100%. Look, with the lockdowns, there were hundreds of thousands of people protesting.
Yep.
We've seen it all over social media.
Yep.
Mainstream media didn't really report the scale of the protests.
Yep.
None of them were heard. Their voices weren't heard. To make a difference, I said to myself, it has to be done from the inside.
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying local government can make a difference for state level or federal level. But if you want to make a difference for your people, it has to be done on the inside.
Okay.
So the only opportunity that I got is local council. That's a starting point.
Yep.
And hopefully, if we don't get up, or if we do get up, we're going to keep going.
Yeah.
If we don't get up, again, we've got another campaign in 2 years and 7 months, we're going again. And it's not going to stop for me. It's been the best thing I've been involved with.
Okay, and so far I've noticed that you've been getting a bit of experience. This is your first time campaigning. You've never done anything like this before, have you?
Never, man. I'm not a politician.
Well,
I've got no political background.
Well,
so we're relying on God, and we're learning on the way.
Awesome.
So
okay, so like let's get through a couple of questions that we want to make sure that we get out there to the audience that are listening tonight. Can you tell us about the party that you're running for? Now, initially when I wrote the questions, I wrote down family first, but you're actually running as an independent. Mm-hmm. So why did you decide to run as an independent?
Look, especially after these lockdowns and what's happening at the moment, everybody's sick of the major parties.
Yep.
We can't trust them. They haven't done anything right by us. So why should we be part of the major parties? As an independent, I have no one to answer to except the constituents in the area. I don't have to go back to Macquarie Street. I don't have to go back to Canberra.
Yep.
Only person I have to answer to is the people living in the Canterbury Bankstown district.
Okay, so what differentiates you from people who are in Labor and Liberal, for example, within your area, is that they are not directly responsible to or accountable to the constituents in their area. You're saying that the guys up top or the guys at the head of the party from Macquarie Street or whoever, they're the ones that palm down what the policies are going to be, and they just pretty much have to just pass them off.
Well,
is that right?
Pretty much to a certain degree, I think.
Okay.
So I'm still trying to understand that myself. Like the candidates that are running now, they do work for the community. We can't take that away from them.
Yep.
But are they working 100% for the community?
Yep.
Or are they working 50% for the community, the other 50% for the major parties?
Yep.
If you're going to work for the community, give it all you got.
Okay.
You don't have to respond back to your major parties. And part of the ideologies, a lot of Canterbury Bankstown don't support it.
Yep.
We're a family community.
Yep.
We don't support the ideologies, but the major parties have to sort of find a middle ground to keep the party happy and keep the constituents happy.
Okay, so
with an independent, we just work for the people.
Okay, so what are your policies? Like, and we'll just speak, I guess, probably from a local level, because we are reaching out to the people who are within the electorate of Canterbury Bankstown. What kind of a difference will you make if you're voted in?
Look, if we get elected, our slogan was family first, supporting local community, because Canterbury Bankstown is majority a family community.
Yep.
Small things like I've spoken to people about. It's very simple things. Parks. We got no fencing around some of our parks. So I got 4 kids. When I take my kids to the park, it's hard to keep an eye out on 4 kids.
Yep.
When I spoke to the mayor last week about fencing off record, he said to me he doesn't support fencing around parks because some people come and leave their kids in the parks and they take off and they leave their kids unsupervised. And he's got to take care of the kids, like kids' safety. I agree, but I've never seen that happen personally.
Yep.
We are a family community, and if you're in a park, there's always hundreds of people there.
Yep.
These lockdowns, we had nowhere to go. I was taking my kids to Stratfield Park.
Yep.
And I live in Belfield, so I was within my 5K limit.
Yep.
But why do I have to go to Stratfield Park? Why can't I go to a park in my local government area?
Yep.
Why are there no shade sales?
Yep.
We can't even get any shade in the heat of the day.
Wow.
They're small things. Another thing that the business, the stronghold in our community is the small business.
Yep.
The small business in our area are mothers, fathers willing to have a go.
Yep.
They open up their business, come do a couple of hours, take the kids to school, come back to the shop, close the shop, go back, pick up the kids. Council rates are going to increase for business within the next 4 years, 60%, Michael.
Wow.
60%.
Wow.
Within a 10% increase every year.
Wow.
Right, for 4 years. Sorry, it's 36% for residents, 10% every year.
So residents are going to
Residents are going to get hit by a 40% increase in council rates. And businesses are going to get an increase over 4 years, 60%.
Now, that goes against family values.
Of course.
Because you can probably talk to me more about this, but like one of the smaller reasons why I kind of left the area was because I'm having a bigger family. I need a bigger land, bigger house. Things are getting expensive. And Sydney is becoming a very expensive place to live. So you're saying that on top of our expensive, on top of the electricity bills, on top of the expensive house prices, on top of the fact that mortgage and interest rates might go up next year, okay, now we're going to deal with 36 to 40% rate increases as well.
That's right.
Who votes for these? How does this happen?
It happens inside.
Okay.
So it happens inside. The only reason why they need an increase is because they got no money.
Okay.
If the council had money, they wouldn't need an increase.
Okay.
Where's the money going?
Do you know the reasons why, or are you very fresh in the game as to the reasons why they have no money or why they're bankrupt?
Look, I wouldn't have a clue.
Okay.
I wouldn't have a clue.
Yep.
But the council is a business.
Yep.
So it makes money from the residents.
And from the rates.
And from the rates.
Yep.
And spends it back in the community.
Yep.
Why do we need to have a 36% increase?
Yep.
That's telling me you have no money.
Yep.
Where's the money going that you're collecting now?
Yeah.
What are you doing with it?
Okay.
Are you overspending?
Yep.
It's like like any other business. If you're spending more than you're bringing in, something's not right.
Yep.
You have to cut somewhere.
Okay.
So where it is, I don't know. But Michael, I promise you, if we do get up, we'll be looking into it. That's the first thing.
Okay. And what else would be one of your policies? Because I will get into like Labor and Liberals' views within the area. But what's one of the other your policies? I know that rates are very important and they affect families, and how and that they don't support people wanting to have bigger families or to be able to look after them. What are some of your other policies on what you'd like to do or change within the area, within the Bankstown?
Look, the overdevelopment. Overdevelopment's crazy.
Okay.
Now, at a state level, I think, right, I'm still trying to understand this, so I'm reading up about it as much as I can.
Yep.
And give me a bit of time. I'm only like 3 weeks into this.
Yep.
The state government has asked our local government, over 30 years, we need 50,000 dwellings in our area.
Yep.
30 years, 50,000 dwellings. So what are we doing? We're putting high rises everywhere now.
Yep.
No, I'm not against building. I'm in the construction industry myself. I run a civil excavation business.
Yep.
So I love construction. Without construction, I wouldn't be working.
That's right.
But if you look at the natural organic growth, we got roughly about 1,000 duplexes getting built in our area now a year. So over 30 years, we can hit that target. Why are we pushing it and cramming it all into one little spot and trying to do it within the next 2 or 3 or 5 years? Why don't we pace it out over 30 years?
Okay.
Even going back to duplexes, when you build a duplex, I've got a mate building his house now. They've given him a limit on basement size. He can fit 2 cars in it. There's him and his wife, and he's got 4 cars.
Yep.
Why would you put your basement size to fit 2 cars? Why couldn't you make the basement size bigger to fit all his vehicles in it? He's got 2 work cars.
Yep.
Then he's got his weekend car and then his wife's weekend car.
Well, that's true, because one problem that I've noticed, I don't know whether it's outside of the Canterbury Bankstown area, but I lived in Canterbury Bankstown pretty much my whole life. One thing I have noticed is that because of the amount of duplexes that are going up, a lot of streets are just getting crammed with cars.
There's no parking.
Okay, and you're saying that that's a problem with council because council aren't allowing duplexes to have the basement car park spaces to be able to put those in? I'm
not saying they're not allowing them. Sometimes a builder or the person building can't afford to put a basement.
Because it does cost a lot more money.
Of course, it'll cost more. But if you are willing to spend that money, I've got a mate that's building, I told you, his house.
And he wants to do it.
He's put a basement in, but they've made his basement to fit 2 cars.
Okay.
If he wants to be able to take 4 cars off the road, let him take 4 cars off the road.
Yeah.
Like, we're already struggling for parking.
Yep.
I come home and I can't find parking.
Well.
And I've got 5 cars.
Well.
Between me and my wife, and we're the only 2 drivers.
Yeah.
And all of them are work cars.
Yep.
And then I've got my car and my wife's car.
Yep.
Why can't we have bigger basements? Small things, you know, but that mean a lot to people.
Yep.
That mean a lot. And the rest we'll learn as we go. And I'll try to understand how we can make a change and where we can fit into this, you know, and work for the people.
Okay. So what are some of your other policies? Or or even if that's pretty much the kind of like where you're coming from, I was going to say, what would make your policies different from Labor and Liberal? Is there anything at the moment that you're either vouching for or something that you'll vote against that you think, for example, Labor might not agree with you on? Like you mentioned the parks.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one. How has Carl, as a mayor or as a Labor, how has he been so far in your opinion?
Look, before 3 weeks ago, Michael, if I tell you something, I'll be lying to you. I wasn't really involved.
Okay.
I wasn't involved at all. Only 3 weeks a couple of weeks before I started looking into it a bit, and 3 weeks I really started to get myself involved. So I can't really comment on that. A lot of people speak good things about him. A lot of people don't like him. A lot of people like me. A lot of people hate me. So it works both sides. That I don't know. But I do know that we're lacking. I stated it before. Our parks are very poor. Are very, very poor. Like as a mayor, the basic thing you can get is your parks. I know he's spending a lot of money in Greenacre swimming pool and doing some stuff now, but why is it always happen before election time? Why is Bellwood Road getting upgraded now just before election time? Why doesn't it happen right throughout
throughout the
term?
time? Because I do remember one thing that he was very vocal about, and I remember watching an episode on one of the major channels with him and Frank Carboni, was the fact that the Canterbury Bankstown area, as well as the Fairfield Council area, was very targeted during lockdowns. What do you say to that?
Look, I think it was targeted during lockdowns. I don't think that's at a local level. I don't really want to get into that because I don't understand that too well yet. But as a constituent and a resident, I did feel like we were targeted.
But as a resident and a person working within the Bankstown area, how did you feel during lockdowns, trying to get to work and with all the...
We couldn't work. I had 13 weeks at home. We couldn't work. Couldn't leave the area. My wife went shopping. She had to go get something for one of my kids at the chemist after 9:30. And then she got pulled up by the cops because she left the house after 9:30.
Wow.
Like, we had a curfew. This is Australia. This is Australia. Like, we can't live like this. This is at a state and federal level. But our mayor, he did stand up. I have to say, I have to give him that. He did stand up. It was a little bit late. He came because a lot of the people were complaining, saying, where's our local member? And then he came out. And I respect him for that, and I thank him for that. But come on. If they're going to lock down your area, stand up for your people. If we're unsafe, lock down the whole state. Lock down Greater Sydney.
Don't just target specific...
That's right.
Don't just target specific areas.
Canterbury Bankstown was locked down and they were partying in Bondi and North Sydney. Come on. That's a bit... how do we feel?
Absolutely. Okay, well, I wanted to ask you a question because this is, I guess, the important part of why why we've got you on Veraces is that you are a man of faith. Okay, undoubtedly, like you don't hide, the fact that you are a practicing Catholic. How will that set you apart running in these local elections?
Look, the candidates that we got now, or the three that I know, the Liberal, Geagea. He's a man of faith as well. Mate, probably one of my highlights of this campaign is meeting him. The amount of charitable works this guy does is unbelievable. I got to lay my hat down. I really respect what he does. God bless him. Carl Asford and Bilal Hayek as well are men of faith. And they do a lot of work for people as well. The difference between myself, I think, and them, and they're all good people, I don't have to answer back to the major parties. The major parties are controlled by banks, farmers, the big pharmaceuticals, they're controlled. They got lobbyists. Independents don't. So we can stand for the people. But they are good men. On a personal level, I think they're great men. Really good people, especially the Bilal Hayek. What a gentleman. What a gentleman. Like, this is the highlight of my campaign, meeting these good people. But unfortunately, I don't think they'll come out publicly and say it. This is what I believe. They're still controlled by the major parties. That's what it comes down to.
And that's what sets you apart as an independent.
That's right.
And so to those people within the Maronite community who are probably watching and who are long-time Labor voters, for example, what would be your message to them on why they should give independent a go this time around?
Well, the Labor Party hasn't really done anything for our Maronite community, for our faith background.
Yep.
Ever. I don't think it has. My father may his soul rest in peace, was a Labor voter all his life. Then I started voting Labor. Then when I got a bit older and I opened up my own business, then I started voting Liberal. And then after I voted Liberal, I thought, they're not doing anything for me. I went to One Nation. Mm-hmm. Their values aren't our values.
Yep.
With all due respect, even though Bilal Hayek and Karl Asfur's values are our values, the Labor Party values aren't ours.
Yep.
We're not voting for Bilal Hayek or Karl Asfur.
Yep.
We're voting for Labor or Liberal.
Yep.
If I was voting for one of the three or George Geagea, I'll vote them in.
Yep.
But we're not voting for them. We are, but we're not.
Yep.
They still got to represent us on behalf of the major parties. We've got to move away from the major parties.
Yep. There seems to be a trend where people are just entrenched, almost like in America and the United States, where it's almost a tradition or a cultural thing where whatever my grandparents voted is what my parents will vote. It's what I will vote. Mm-hmm. But we've noticed that with the major parties, both Labor and Liberal, they used to be very conservative, and now they're anything but.
You're 100%. Well, the Labor Party is infiltrated by the unions.
Yep.
It's controlled by the unions. We know this. It's out in the public.
Yep.
Look, I'll give you an example. I met this lady on the booth there last week. She's a diehard Labor.
Yep.
Her grandfather was a Labor. Her father was Labor. She said to me, Labor runs through my veins.
Yep.
But her values were conservative.
Yep.
So I said to her, why would you vote Labor? She said, because my father and my grandfather were. Yep. People got to let go.
Yep.
And we're a family community.
Yep.
We've got to do the right thing by our kids, by our community, not by Labor and Liberal.
Yep.
If Labor and Liberal were looking after us, we'll vote them in.
Okay. And so for people that don't understand how the system works, okay, if you were to get voted in, what does that actually mean? What does that mean practically? You will become a counsellor?
A counsellor.
And then you will work every Tuesday?
Every second Tuesday.
Every second Tuesday, voting on plans that are getting passed in and through the council.
That's
Is that right?
As far as I'm aware, and I'm still trying to understand this, you cannot vote on construction. So as a counsellor, you vote on things in the community. For example, upgrading parks, funding libraries,
roads,
footpaths, roads, waste. Our waste is, since the amalgamation as well, the waste has been terrible. Our waste collection has been very bad. The bins aren't getting emptied, streets aren't getting swept. I mean, they are getting swept, but not as good as it was before.
Okay.
When I've been in the Canterbury ward all my life. We were much cleaner before. And the Bankstown streets were much cleaner before. Why aren't they getting swept now?
Okay. So you're saying that before the amalgamation, the streets were a lot cleaner, everything was a lot cleaner than it was now, but now you're noticing since the amalgamation that things have gotten a lot worse.
Well, I'll give you another example. The council used to mow the lawns on the corners. Maintain them. Last 12 months, they don't do it anymore.
Okay.
What does that tell you? There's no money in the budget.
Okay.
Simple as that.
Okay.
They've been doing it all their life.
Okay.
All of a sudden now the council doesn't want to mow the lawn. Why? Where's the money? Where's the money? It's a company. Show us the P&L.
And you want to try to make the council more accountable and more transparent?
Of course.
Do you?
Of course.
Because the people need to know.
Of course.
Okay.
They need to know.
Okay.
Where the money's going. Why don't we know where the money's going? I don't know whether it's public information or not. I'm pretty sure it will be.
Okay.
I haven't really dived right into it. I've only been in this in a short window. But we will. And even if we don't get updated, we're going to be right on top of it. We're not stopping now.
And I know that you've been inspired to want to join the parties. Actually, before we do that, so for people who, what has the campaign been like physically? What's involved?
I tell you what, it's very draining. But the best experience of my life. Can I just say something, Michael? I spoke to a couple of my mates and they said to me, we'll support you. And I was one of these people too. We'll support you, but I don't want to be seen. Why don't we want to be seen? I don't want people to know that I'm involved. This has been the best experience of my life. I've met the greatest people. in the last 3 weeks
Yep.
than I've met in 40 years.
Yep.
With all due respect to everyone. These people are smart, educated, intelligent. Like, I cannot explain to you. They're very nice people. Carl Asford, Bilal Hayek, Geagea, unbelievable. I feel blessed that I've met them.
Yep.
Why don't we want to be involved? We have to be involved.
Yep.
If we're not involved, if we don't work on the inside, nothing's going to get done.
Yep.
If you want a change, get up and do it yourself.
Yep.
And I can't do it on my own. We need support.
Yep.
We need men on the ground. We need women on the ground. I've put every single poster up. I've done every mail drop off.
Yeah.
I've done everything myself. I've had it's hard.
And when are you doing this? After work?
After work.
At night?
At night.
Wow.
At night.
So you've paid for the campaign yourself. You're going around. Are you asking people whether they'd have your posters in their front yards and things like that?
Well, believe it, I door knocked one person.
Yep.
And other than that, it was all people ringing me.
Oh wow.
Just the support has been overwhelming.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, I did have a couple of mates come in and help me. George and Daniel and Ellie. They came out and helped me put some posters up, and I really appreciate it, mate. They've done so much work. But for a small team, it's been great. It's been a great experience.
Yep.
I think we've had great exposure. It's been fantastic.
Awesome.
It's a great journey. I highly recommend it for everyone.
Okay. So what are some of the smaller things that are involved? So for example, like now, you told me before that at polling booths, they've been open now for the last couple of weeks, have they?
Yeah. So this is the second week.
Okay. And so it's just about getting people to hand out pamphlets and showing them how to vote for.
That's right.
For independent. And do you want to show people what it looks like?
This is a how to vote card.
Yeah.
So on polling day, at the moment, you're not allowed to hand these cards out. You can only show them the card.
Okay.
Because of COVID, so there's new restrictions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can just show it to them.
We can only show it to them now.
So you don't need to print like...
No, on election day,
Yep.
we can actually hand them out.
Oh, you can hand them
Yes.
out? Okay.
So we've printed thousands and thousands of them.
Yep.
Ready for Saturday coming, December the 4th. So all we do is explain to the people coming why we're running as independent, who we are, what our values are, and give us a go. Mm-hmm. And believe it or not, the feedback's been unbelievable.
Wow.
Everybody, a lot of people that are coming to the booths are saying, we don't want Labor, we don't want Liberal.
Yep.
We want to vote in independent. They're not even asking us what our values are. But now, hang on.
They just don't,
We ask them to slow down.
Yep.
See what our values are and see if you really want to support us.
Do you want to give me that and then you can speak about it? I'll just
make a calculated decision.
In the middle.
And it's very important on voting day.
Yep.
You have to put one above the line in Group A. We're running as independents, Group A. And then we've given our preferences to the Liberal, to Geagea and his party. He's an unbelievable person.
Yep.
And the reason why we've done that is Canterbury Bankstown, the Bankstown ward has been a Labor stronghold for a very, very long time. So if we don't get up, he gets our preference votes. And that way it will keep Labor on their toes as well. But that doesn't mean, can I just explain this, Mike? So if you vote one there and don't put anything else above the line and we don't get up, that vote goes. But if you put one there and two on Group B, that means if we don't get up, anybody that's voted on Group B, that calculates as a vote. But if we get up, it means nothing. That's simple as that.
So you would like people to vote above the line and go one, either a one or 1 and 2 Liberal.
That's right.
Okay, do not put a cross, do not put a tick, only the number 1 in Group A and Group B, put a 2 for Liberal.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Perfect.
Do not put a cross at all. Because if you put a cross there, they think, we don't like this candidate, we don't want him. So, and it's just it's a waste of a vote.
Awesome. And so for people, because I've noticed that you've been getting a lot of support in the community from friends, from people wanting to hand out. Is there anything more that people can do? Like if they want to help out, can they reach out? Can we put your email address or your contact details for people that want to get in touch?
Yeah.
What kind of help do you need on Saturday?
On Saturday, there's 23 booths to man. 23 booths. We need average 5 people per booth from 8 till 6. And then from 6 till 9, we need 23 scrutineers inside scrutinizing the votes because we don't know what happens in there, whether the votes go missing or we don't want to talk about that.
Oh, well, okay.
So we can have a scrutiny in each booth.
Wow.
So it's a big number. We're not going to get that.
And where is that?
It's in It will happen in every polling
And where does the
booth.
scrutinising, that happens there as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
in every polling booth.
And this is across all of Canterbury, Bankstown?
All of Canterbury Bankstown, but the Bankstown ward got 23 polling booths.
Okay.
The other wards have their own polling booths.
Okay, so you're going to need about 100 people.
Plus.
Okay, so guys, if you are sick and tired of voting of what the major parties have done so far, if you believe that they do not stand up for your values, you don't even have to be a Catholic. I'm sure that Pierre stands up for people of all faiths, people who want to put their family first, okay, and he wants to be a voice for those people within the electorate, within the Canterbury Bankstown area. Please contact us or contact Pierre. We'll leave some contact details for you so that you can get in touch, so that we can man those booths to make sure that there are people there on the grounds helping people to vote and helping hopefully to get Pierre in so that he can make the community a difference.
God willing.
Okay.
We'll leave it in God's hands. But can I just say something, Michael, before? I just want to encourage any conservative person, any person, not just the conservatives, any person who wants to make a change, it has to be done from the inside. Change happens from inside. I've just learned this in the last couple of weeks. We can go to a protest, 100,000 strong, you have a small impact. You can have 5 people inside a political party and you can make a massive difference. Let's get involved. The only way we're going to make a difference is by getting involved. Let's stop being scared. Let's stop being shy. It's nothing. It's great. It's a good experience.
You know what I think? I think sometimes people are a little bit daunted by maybe the hard work that they think is involved. So when you say get involved, physically, practically, what does it mean? What do I do? Do I sign up for a local to join a party and then I join a branch? How does it work? Can you guide people on telling them what to do?
That's all it is, Michael. Honestly, okay. All you do is find the party that suits yourself and suits your belief, whether it's Labor, Liberal, that new UAP party,
the United Australia Party,
whichever one you like. Join a branch.
Yep.
And then it all happens from inside the branch. So when pre-selection comes, someone that's going to run for state or federal, the people inside the branch get to vote who's going to run.
Yep.
Simple as that. So why should I have Joe Blow running when I can have Michael Obeid running?
And so what's involved in joining the branch? Do you just have to pay an annual membership fee and attend how many meetings?
I think it's $100 a year.
Yep.
I'm not part of any major party, but this is what I've just learned in the last 3 weeks. It's about $100 a year for an individual, $150 a year for a couple.
Yep.
You have to join a branch in your area.
Yep.
And you have to turn up to about 4 or 6 meetings a year or once a quarter or something. I'm not sure.
Yep.
It's very minimal work.
Yep.
And then it's really good because you're actually networking.
And you become a powerful voice automatically because you become one of the people that then nominate someone who's going to be nominated for...
Yes, but you have to be in the branch for a certain period of time.
Okay.
Before...
And how long do you have to be in the branch for?
I think it's 2 years.
Okay.
But, I mean, do your research.
Okay.
And every party's probably got different rules.
Yep.
I'm not sure what it is, but we have to get involved.
Okay.
Whatever it is.
Well, that's true because, you know what? I will always remember when the state was about to pass some of the harshest abortion laws that we've ever seen in this country. And I just remember how many thousands and thousands of people were outside Parliament down from the cathedral at St. James in that area. And I thought to myself, we're like thousands and thousands of people here, and the people that are making the decisions there are in the tens
that's right.
on the inside.
That's right.
And I was thinking to myself, one of those people is worth 100,000 of us
100%.
or 10,000 of us.
No doubt about that.
We need to be in there on the inside.
That's right.
Yeah, making those decisions.
That's right.
Okay, so please, guys, I'm inspired myself. I hope you can see that Pierre, background in excavation, has had no experience with running for political parties. He's been inspired. He's understood what it means for us to be able to make a difference. Mm-hmm. Okay, we have to be people who are willing to take that step to join those parties, to get in there and to make a difference that way.
Amen.
You know what?
Amen.
God bless you. I really hope you're successful. I'll be doing as much as I can. The team of Races are going to be definitely pushing the campaign as much as we can.
God bless you.
We do hope that the people that are listening respond, come out and help. And we wish you and we pray all the best for a really good outcome on Saturday.
Thank you very much. One last thing.
Go for it.
if 12 apostles changed the world, what can we do?
Absolutely. And on that note, thanks very much for coming on the show,
God bless
Pierre.
you, Michael.
God bless you.
Thanks for having us.
That was another episode of Veracious Media. God bless. And please, guys, lend your support. Help Pierre out. Vote for the independents, especially for you guys that are in the Bankstown electorate. And we'll see you again next time.
God bless.